What happened to the smartest kids in your high school? As one of the so-called gifted kids in high school, I was always told that I'd be hyper-successful and be rewarded handsomely for that. However, after meandering for about 5 years figuring out what to do with my life, then deciding to go to college and then failing out, changing courses twice due to mental health, burnout and realizing accounting was not a good fit, I genuinely feel like I was lied to. What happened to the toppers in your class group? We're old now, but he ended up a physicist and worked for NASA. She went to become a rave dancer and party girl. Dr. Google, Department of Energy, Academia. Those are the ones I remember. I was fond of saying I was the 33rd smartest person in high school. The smart classes I was in had 33 students. He works at Raytheon and does redacted there. He can't really tell me what he does. Mixed fortunes in adult life, ranging from extreme financial success to surprisingly mediocre. Skills measured at school aren't the same as those needed in work, and people do change the goals they had as children. Thinking of those I knew at school, I think the most straightforward personalities did best at making money in the end, while the deep thinkers and dreamers did less well. The valedictorian of my high school class went to some ranch for his first couple years of college. Then went to Harvard and started a band making really weird music. He became a chocolatier in Japan. Man shrugging, light skin tone. A lot of them girls got a fancy degree and then quit their jobs to raise children. Nothing wrong with that. I went back to college, and even though I didn't use it, it made me look at the world in a different way. Dropped out of high school at 15 and went on to have 5 kids with her husband. All her kids are smart AF and have graduated high school and went to college. She has lupus now and is just taking it one day at a time. One of the smartest in my HS class went to Harvard, graduated and got a job in finance and technology in NYC and made tons of money. Got married, had kids. I was among that group of gifted kids. I graduated from a pretty good state school. Never felt driven to make a ton of money. Was more concerned with protecting my free time away from work. I make a pretty good living, but certainly not rich or super successful. I had a girl in my grade who was in all AP classes and looked down on people not as smart. My high school was big on homecoming, and at the football game they announced the homecoming court and their career goals. When they announced that one girl on the court wanted to be a nurse, this smart kid said, "Really? A nurse? Don't want to strive for being a doctor or something better?" Totally judging her. Now this judgmental asshole is a realtor who never left her hometown. I bitch a lot on Reddit now. I fly airplanes for a living. One of my buddies sails for the ultra-rich. And another one is a chemical engineer. Everyone from my gifted class is either wildly successful or a mentally ill burnout. No in between. I'm kinda exaggerating, but kinda not. My BFF was the smartest kid in our grade. He writes for a historical YouTube series and makes enough money at it to live on. So he's not doing badly. His dream was to become an aerospace engineer, but there aren't many opportunities for those where we come from. And he discovered after a while that he wanted to spend more time writing. He's studying pure chemistry and will probably become a researcher. He's one of my closest friends. Another one is about to graduate from medicine. She had a couple of kids and lives with her now long-term BF who is also in medicine. He created a thing called Napster and then invested in a thing called Facebook, and he was played by Justin Timberlake in the Social Network movie. Smartest kid in my class went to Stanford and started a wine importing business. Had 2 stunning daughters whom I'm sure are fucking brilliant. At the age of 54, She decided to become a lawyer. Graduated from law school, and is now working in a law firm. Graduated West Point. A quick peek at his Facebook shows him happily married with 2 girls and either a former or current Army Ranger. Went to Harvard, then became an NFL QB, now is an NFL talking head. The 4 with the highest grades did. 1 studied dentistry, now a dentist. 2 did a master's as psychology. Not sure what she does now. 3 did a master's in mechanical engineering. Works in nuclear power. 4 went to Oxford to study veterinary science. I assume he graduated. 8 of my graduating class was a valedictorian. Most have a master's degree, at least a couple guys went to military academies. The rest are doctors or speech therapists. 1 is a teacher. 1 is an architect. My high school started inducting alumni into a Hall of Fame. It was part of the graduation ceremonies. And the one I can remember was a stoner who discovered a new butterfly. High school isn't everything. Gifted kid here that was told my entire life how much smarter I am than everyone and how I'm gonna do amazing things. All I ended up with is a superiority complex. I work at Amazon now. The other kids are mostly either went into the military or business. A couple are pretty successful, but most of us amounted to nothing tbh. She's a judge. He graduated early. Started working in AV for Conan O'Brien. Eventually drove up into the hills near our coastal CA town. Doused himself with accelerant. And lit it up. Weirdly enough, you can see this person I'm speaking about in Superbad. He plays Steven Glansberg, the kid eating lunch alone at the beginning. Same way it was in real high school. I have no idea. I didn't remain close to even my own high school friends. Let some alone some random side characters. Waiting tables on some remote Caribbean island. My sister, the valedictorian, spent years doing missionary work. Came home. Had a family. Died of cancer. Religion told her she was only good to be an incubator and that birth control is bad. Was gifted with an amazing brain. Now an amazing mum. I am browsing Reddit on a Saturday night. MIT and then making robots for work now. Pretty cool. He's a hippie vagabond houseless person by choice. I've caught up with him once and it seems he's happy to not be a cog in the great machine. I was the smartest kid in school. Life definitely did not go the way I hoped. Intelligence is part of the equation. It can be offset by lack of other attributes such as social skills, physical or mental illness, a dearth of connections, and plain bad luck. I wouldn't say you were lied to. Just that they oversold the value of intelligence. Me. Got a PhD and became a college professor. Type 1 got Rs. Rip Tom. I've always thought the kids who were able to make friends are more successful than the smart kids. In school, I was friends with those guys and girl. We're all in our 40s now. 2 of us went full ride academic to Ivy League schools. The rest went to a normal state university except for me. I dropped out of community college after the first year. 5-6 of us are successful upper middle class or better in our chosen fields. 2 of us are very successful with 1 bordering on famous. 3-6 of us are actually emotionally successful. Not lonely. Loved. And creating a better world for others. They're both doctors. No idea. Don't care. Open mouth smile. Some of them were smart enough to figure out that trying to be hyper successful isn't really worth it for the most part. I was the smart kid and I'm just a band teacher coasting in a tiny school with zero pressure. Expectations. My smartest childhood friend get addicted to heroin. I think he's clean now but I don't know what he's up to.